going on, Jeromes? Beautiful day for some Q&A. Thank you, everyone who submitted questions. First up is R3. If JJ is quarterback one now, does he play in the preseason? I know Kevin O'Connell doesn't usually play starters, but does he make an exception this year or wait till the regular season to play him? So, a couple factors. If you play McCarthy, you're playing your starting offensive line because you're not going to put him behind a bunch of backups. Not going to do that. Now, you can play him with backup running backs, receivers. Obviously Justin Jefferson has nothing to prove. Same thing, Aaron Jones. But yeah, that is the question. Like, if you're going to play McCarthy, you're going to play him with your starting offensive line. Now, there is value in preseason games, but also everything that you need to see about McCarthy, you'll see in practice, right? And the Vikings potentially could have joint practices as well, which is something that's always good for competition. And McCarthy, like, you'll know either way, right? So I think that it's a bit of a toss-up. Like, I think that he'll play. I don't think it'll be extensively. Like, maybe in that second preseason game, he'll get a half, with the starting offensive line. But we'll see. Next, Jay Sorensen. If we stick and pick at 24 and Gray Zabel and Nick Emenwari are still on board, who do you pick? That's tough. So obviously, trading down could and should be an option, but also you need someone to come up. It's not going to be as easy as you make it out to be. But I would go with Zabel, but it's super close because I think that Zabel is that missing piece along the offensive line. And defensively, Emenwari is a stud, but I like the depth of the safeties later on in the draft versus the depth of the interior offensive lineman, if that makes sense. Because even if you pass on Emenwari, later on you could get a guy like Malachi Moore from Alabama. You could get a guy like Makuba from Texas, as well as Craig Woodson from Cal. We like a lot. Billy Bowman is my freaking guy from Oklahoma. Boomer, right? Jonas Sanker. So I think that the drop off between Emenwari and the mid round safeties is a lot less than Zabel down to the mid round interior offensive lineman. So we'll go with that. Also, Blake Kettler. What are some teams you think could go from last to first in their divisions, and vice versa? So there's not a lot. I don't see a lot of worst to first. I mean, Patriots. I mean, still got the Bills there. The Raiders. I think the Raiders will be improved, but probably not overtaking the Chiefs and or the Chargers. Browns, absolutely not. Titans could, mainly because the AFC South is pretty weak across the board. Plus, I believe in the Callahans, especially up front. Bill Callahan, one of the best offensive line coaches in the game. I think if they land Cam Ward, I think they could actually have a little something going there in Tennessee. The Giants, no. The 49ers, I mean, maybe, but also that's a little bit cheating because the Niners had a very down season last year, but also the roster's gutted, and they're going to pay Brock Purdy $60 million per year. Like, can he carry that team? Don't know. Bears, no. Saints, no to the Saints. I think the Saints have a year or two of just weathering that cap hell, and then maybe they'll come out of it. But teams that could drop to the bottom, I mean, the Texans, I don't trust their offensive line moves. Bucks, no. Lions, maybe not the bottom, but I could easily see the Lions finishing third. Ravens will be fine. Chiefs will be fine. Rams, nah. Like, McVay will always have them be competitive. Eagles will be fine, and the Bills will be fine too. So that's basically it. I mean, the league wants parity, yes, but I think that obviously year to year things change, but it's hard to imagine. I can only imagine like really good teams suddenly falling off a cliff, barring massive injuries or thing like that, or teams from the bottom just suddenly rising like a phoenix. Speaking of cap, Brighton Jorgensen, why does Minnesota backload all these contracts? Isn't that setting them up to be in cap hell? So the Vikings, clearly were pinching pennies to try and create as much 2025 cap space as possible. You saw that with the structure of the free agent deals, as well as the foresight with the structure of the Jefferson and Darisaw deals, where it's small 2025 cap hit, large hit in 2026, and also having Bradbury being a post-June 1st release and saving an extra $1.6 million. Now, you could say, well, what are they doing? Well, you can usually cash flow a lot of the 2026 cap space by either restructuring, simple restructures, or new contracts for some of these players. So the Vikings aren't in bad shape. Now, where you get in bad spots is where you keep pushing these cap hits, and eventually they're just dead on the cap, especially if the player is gone, because then you have the problem of having a large dead cap number on your books for a player that isn't even with you anymore, and you have to pay a new guy. All right, so that's basically what the Saints have been stuck in as of late. But overall, like I do trust Brzezinski, and also the flow with the contracts 2026, 2027, the cap going up and up and up. Vikings don't have a ton of dead cap hits since they took a lot of that on the chin last year from Kurt, Marcus Davenport, and Daniil. And also, I mean, the cap space that they save now in 2025, yeah, they'll sign a couple draft picks and you need a couple million in season, but they can roll all that over to 2026 if they don't spend it this year. Next. Angry Nude. Would Harold Fannin Jr. be a good fit for the Vikings if we were to draft him? I like the potential he has as a receiver. Yeah, I love Harold Fannin Jr. Just the production and just watching him in the MAC at Bowling Green in like those stupid Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games. Like Zero was number one, and he's not a stunning athlete, but he can just get buckets, right? And not stunning athlete as showed by the combine, which was sort of whatever. And he's not a physical freak, but he's got great hands. He understands space. He's good in contested catch spots, and he just gets his. Now, you could say it's lower level competition, sure, but he's very adept at picking out dead spots in zone. He's very adept at boxing out, and he's got like you don't see him really much as an inline tight end or like an H-back or anything like that, but just as a unique offensive weapon where he is a matchup problem. Yeah, I certainly could see that. So I'm very much intrigued by Fannin. I actually kind of like this tight end class overall. But, I mean, Fannin in the mid-rounds, like if the Vikings maneuver, maybe sticking a pick in 97, maybe. I think Fannin's probably going to be a fourth-round pick because he didn't blow things away at the combine, but super interesting. I love players like that. But that's it. Q&A for this beautiful day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.